Good morning. So glad to see you all here. We are still expecting like 10 to 12 more people, and they get the front row. That's what you get. So well done, all of you who got here and got in the back. We are in for a treat today and over these next 3 weeks. I just know that with everything that I am. I had the opportunity to meet Diane last spring, I think it was, and we had this immediate connection. And when she shared with me what she knows deep in her being and what her experience is, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just such a great fit for us here at Church of the Palms. And I'm really excited about that. A little housekeeping for those of you who I think I know just about everyone here. I am Lori Haas, one of the pastors at Church of the Palms, and I want to give you that very important information that the restrooms are out the back door, to the right, through the room, to the right again, and it's sort of a little mountain. You might want to leave a trail of breadcrumbs behind you until we get all the brain information, and then we'll be able to keep it in there for sure. I don't think I have any other announcements, but I would love to open us in prayer before I give Diane the microphone. So let us pray. We are grateful, O God, for your creation of us, body, mind, and soul. We're grateful for opportunities like this that we might learn more and more about how to utilize the beautiful gifts that you have given us. So bless our time together, bless Diane in her teaching, and bless each one of us. In Christ's name, amen. I'm going to let you do the rest.
Come on in. I'm Diane Alexander. It is a real joy to be here. And before I get started telling you all the wonderful and fascinating things we're going to talk about and do in the next couple of weeks, I want to do something that they always do at the very end. I want to thank a couple of people, and I want to just tell you the story of how this came to be. I have a friend back here called Bob Cook, and if you haven't met Bob, you need to, and his wife, Linda. They joined about a year ago. They're one of our very best friends. And Bob said, you need to do this for the church. And I said, okay. So he went and he talked to the Reverend, and I met with the Reverend, and the Reverend sent me with Lori. And Lori and I met, and within 30 seconds, we were bonded for life. And that's what everybody does with Lori. I'd like to say that was special, but it was Lori. So we talked and we talked and we talked. So we put this together, and then, where's Pat? Pat. So Pat is the one that makes the logistics. Oh my gosh, I've spent my entire career doing this and going from company to company, walking in after a long flight. There's nothing there. There's no, I know. Pat makes everything happen. Incredible. So appreciative. And then there's the tech guy, Matt. Matt, technology isn't my background, and that can be the make or break it, and I know it, and I am so grateful. And there's one last person I want to introduce, and that is my husband back here. And if I forget something in the course, he'll be able to tell you what it is, because he's heard it so many times. And he's been my total support person, and he's going to be taking pictures throughout these sessions. So smile pretty, okay, and just ignore him. So he'll feel real comfortable, okay? He'll feel like he's at home, because we're going to do something with the pictures next week that you're really going to like. So that's what they're for, and I don't want you to think there's just this guy taking random pictures, but it's him. So with that, let me get started. My background, just to give you a little background, is in business and neuroscience. And so that's what I've always done. Mostly have done that in the corporate world, and had a company called The Mind Works. And we were really quite international, and lived on an airplane, and did that for a long time, working with corporations and teaching them how to use their brain. So if you think about, excuse me, when computers came out, and we all knew they were incredibly powerful, well, we didn't know how to use them. And you know, yesterday when you couldn't get it to work, you still knew it was powerful and you didn't know how to use it. And somebody comes along and just says, well, didn't you know about spell check? And you said, no. And they push a button and you go, oh, okay. You just have to know what button to push, and it's so easy. And the brain is 100 times more complex. And we just have to know what button to push. It's not that there's anything wrong with us or we're stupid or we can't figure things out. We just haven't been taught the buttons to push. So that's what I'm going to teach you in these sessions, is what buttons to push to make your brain work. So let's talk about, it's that easy, trust me. What we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about lots of really fascinating and practical, I'm really all about practical information about how your brain works. And I want to provide you with a lot of tools and techniques to actually use it. I teach at a university. I teach business neuroscience at a university. So I can do the up here stuff, okay? And it's great and it's fascinating. But what I want you to have is when you go home this afternoon, you can actually put it in place. So a lot of very practical kinds of things that you'll be able to use. So why do we want to do that? Why is that important? Well, one has to do with, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're in a massively changing society. That's the good news, that's the bad news. A massively changing society. So what that means is you all have a car, right? You know what a car is. Cars have been out there for 100 years. They're a little bit more complex, but a car is a car, it has 4 wheels, blah, blah, blah. Some of you have an electric car. It doesn't even run on gasoline. Can you imagine? Anybody in here have an electric car? Okay, you got a hybrid? Okay, that's halfway there, okay. Did you know that they're coming out with cars just for seniors? Yes, I know. They're three-wheelers. They're three-wheelers. They are terrific. They're very stable. They're very easy. They're the right size. They don't consume much energy or fuel. Three-wheelers, they're great. Did you know that next time you go visit the grandkids, you might be taking your car in the form of a car that flies? They're coming out with flying cars. They are actually building the airports right now. Can't you? That's what Sarasota needs, is an airport for seniors, don't you think? Okay. So massive, massive changes. The other thing is the rate of change. So let me give you an example. The time that it takes a product to be birthed to everybody's using it is called the rate of change. So when the toaster first came out, how many of you had a toaster? Let's just check this out. How many have a toaster? Okay, you're all, okay. It took 34 years for the toaster to become mainstream, and it wasn't electric. It was those, you've seen those that are like this? Yes, it took 34 years. People were not into the concept of change. Today, a product can go from concept to viable in the mainstream in a year. So the rate of, so there's more change and it's much faster, which means we need to learn how to use this real fast, all right? So information, tools, okay, very good. Why is that important? Because the volume of change and the rate of change. So let's talk about, well, how are we going to learn all this stuff? How are we going to do it? One is every session, I'm going to give you some knowledge, just some basic knowledge like I just gave you. I mean, you'll always remember that it took 34 years for the toaster to be mainstream. That'll be great conversation at the next Friday Flamingo thing, right? Okay, so we're going to give you knowledge. Knowledge is fascinating. It's interesting. We love it. Some of us are junkies on knowledge, but knowledge is only so good. What are you going to do with the fact that it took 34 years to introduce? Okay. All right, so we're going to give you a lot of useful tools that you can go home and use that so that brain actually works better. That brain actually does what you want it to do. Because I know you all have heard that it is an incredible piece of equipment. And yet, can you remember where you left your glasses? Right? You want to be able to use it. So we're going to give you a lot of tools. And then the last thing we're going to give you are experiences. You're going to experience that brain. Experience that brain enabling you to do and have what it is that you want to have. Because it's great to know something. It's great to have something you can use. But I want you to walk out of here with experiences that you remember for the rest of your life that change how you live in the world. So we're going to be doing, every week, we'll be doing those three things. Every morning, I'm going to give you some fascinating information. We're going to use it, and then you're going to have some experiences. What we're going to talk about today are critical factors for success. We're going to talk about your body doesn't lie, and I'm afraid you already know that. Okay. All right. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do an experience where you create your future. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the intellectual piece. This is one of my favorite pieces of research. I tend to be a research junkie. Like some people eat popcorn, I like to eat research. So I'm fascinating at parties, you can imagine. But this is a really good piece of data. This is one by a woman named Marion Diamond. And what she did was she took a room full of mice. So just imagine you're a room full of mice, okay? And she randomly, that's the critical word, she randomly put them into one of three cages. So the first cage was the deprived mouse. Who are you?
Lorraine.
Lorraine. I'm sorry, Lorraine.
Can I be mouse number one?
Yes, you can be mouse number one. Lorraine's going to be in that first cage. She has no one to talk to. Except herself. That might be more fascinating, right? And she has no toys to play with. So no YouTube, no nothing. All right. I'm sorry, Lorraine, but that's life. Who are you, ma'am?
Max.
Max. And
Joe.
is it Max and Joe? No, you're not.
Max and Joe, but Max and Joe. No.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're at church, honey. Okay, these two over here, they are going to be in the second cage. They are the normal, okay. Maybe I went a little too, it's the first time she ever called him normal, okay. All right, they're gonna have each other to talk to play with. Ain't it awful, can you believe, da-da-da-da. Okay, so we have a deprived, we have a normal, and we have the rest of you. You knew that, right? Okay, you're the enriched. Ooh. You're the enriched. And so what that means is you have a lot of people to talk to. So if you get bored with her, you can go right over here, all right? A lot of things to do. This was the most, in fact, it was in a room bigger than this. And the whole top third of the ceiling was this cage. And it was Ferris wheels and all kinds of incredible toys. I've seen pictures of it. It was just incredible, all this stuff to do. And so it was really a great deal. And so she left them in their respective cages for about 3 weeks, because that's kind of the optimum time in a mouse's life. And then at the end of the 3 weeks, she got a barrel of water. She put an island in the center. And Lorraine, we put you in that barrel of water. See right here. Lorraine can't swim. The mice in the first cage always drowned. But she's the deprived cage. What can you expect? Max? They didn't make it either. They drowned. I'm sorry. You were so excited. The rest of you, see that mouse there? Yeah. The rest of you, 100% of you, made it to the island. 100% of these drowned. 100% of these drowned. 100% of you made it to the island. Yeah, what's going on here? Interesting. And she didn't do this experiment just once. Okay, every time she got the same results. Wow. Environment might be important. So, what she did was, well, let me explain to you. Yeah, she then donated them to science, which then took their little brains. And this is what we got. This here on the left is the mouse from the first cage, and this is the mouse from the third cage. And what a brain cell really is that this is called the nucleus, and these are called dendrites, those little branchy things. And so what a thought is, so now we're really going to advance to a thought. What a thought is, so those are two brain cells that have something like this, and then that mouse had a thought, and we have an electrical chemical connection. Sometimes you can actually feel it, can't you? You have a thought, you make a connection, you go, wow. Not sometimes, I know you don't, but sometimes you do. And that's all a thought is. Now, this is really important. This is really important. A thought is nothing more than an electrical chemical connection between two dendrites. Sometimes we label that a good thought or a bad thought, but it's a chemical electrical connection. Okay, so when they looked at these brain cells, they found that there's obviously quite a difference. This is the mouse of the third cage, that's the mouse of the first cage. So let's say Lorraine has that. We know Lorraine's brain cells look like this. So let's say that it's time for Lorraine to make dinner for her kids. So she's got two brain cells, two dendrites, and she makes an electrical connection. Mac and cheese. Feed the kids. We've all had that same thought, right? Mac and cheese. Okay, very good. She feeds the kids. Everybody's happy. It's now tomorrow. It's time for dinner. What do you think she makes the kids? Mac and cheese. Okay, this is what, Thursday? So that's Friday. Saturday, what do you think she makes? Mac and cheese. Lorraine, is Lorraine not a good parent? Who are you?
Me?
No, and back. Marisa. Marisa? You shook your head no. Why?
She's just continuing on with the pattern that she's established.
Yes, why? My husband asks me that all the time. Why are you doing that pattern? That's the why. Why is she?
It doesn't make her a bad parent. It just makes her comfortable with doing the same thing.
She's comfortable. She's not changing. What else is going on here?
She doesn't know anything else.
She doesn't know anything else. What else is going on?
She's comfortable.
She's comfortable.
That's
Not
right.
enough brain cells.
No, she's not willing
Yes.
to extend them.
Her children are only going to know mac and cheese.
Her children are only going to go mac and cheese. So we're going to have another generation of mac and cheese. I want you to think about this. She gives mac and cheese because she can only make one connection. She physically doesn't have the ability to make a different connection. She may be a good parent. She may love her children. She can't do anything different because physiologically, this is all she has. Now, look at that other one. So one, this is all she has. The second one is, look at the other one. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Lori. Okay, so we do mac and cheese on Thursday. What can we do on Friday? What can we do on Saturday? What can we do on Sunday? Look at how many different things that mother can serve her children. Does she love them more than the first mother? No, we don't know, but certainly possible she loves them just as much. But she can give them so much more, right? Why? She has other pathways. She has other options because her environment was enriched and enabled her to grow more dendrites. So there are people who can't do things, not because they don't want to or whatever. They don't have the physiology. There are people who do things because they have the physiology. All right? So, one, the number of dendrites is really critical, right? The other thing is the length of dendrites. What if the mother in the first cage has really short, stubby dendrites? She can't make it. Or you've talked to this person, haven't you? It takes a while for the connection to be made. Okay? When you have this distance, it takes a long time for that connection to be made. This person's like right there with you because it doesn't take any amount of time. So the length of the dendrites is really important. In the first and second cage, they had really stubby dendrites. You know people with stubby dendrites. You've sat and talked to them, right? Okay, it takes a long time for that connection to be, and oops, I drowned. See, the mice in the first cage, they're going, oh my, I'm in water and I don't know what this is. And I keep going underwater and I don't know what, oh, I'm dead. This one's going, oh yeah, move my feet, put my arms around, oh yeah, I'm above water. So it's the speed. So one's the number of dendrites, the other one is the speed by which we can function. And the third thing is on those dendrites is something that we call myelin. And it's a sticky substance. And if it dries up, we get dry myelin. And sometimes we get dry myelin due to age, due to environmental things. If that myelin dries up, it's like arthritis of the fingers. We lose that flexibility. We lose that flexibility so that we become stiff and rigid in our thinking. We become stiff and rigid in our behavior. Do you know anybody who is never going to change? They probably have dry myelin. They're not changing because they don't want to. They physically are stiff, inflexible. So what she found was that depending on one's environment, we can trigger new dendrites, we can grow longer dendrites, and we can create supple dendrites. That's what we're going to do in this program. We are literally going to exercise your brain. It takes about 4 weeks to grow new dendrites. So by class at the end, you should all have lots of new dendrites. They should be very long and they should be very supple, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. Any quick questions about that?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, what was it about being with all the other mice? Was it that they helped you figure out things, or?
Sometimes they help you figure out things. Sometimes you like to just jaw and talk to them. Sometimes you like to play chase. There's more stimulation. More stimulation. So any questions about this? So this is what we're going to be doing, is really literally exercising your brain. Now, I just want us to take a real quick break. I have 10:30, 5 minutes. You got to pee fast. Okay. The restroom's right over here. I'm going to be playing music, and when you hear the music, please come back in the room because we're going to do a great activity, okay? Thank you. Happy day. Happy day. How can you not be happy if you have that music? Okay, so what I want to do is a little exercise to explore how your body and your mind work. It's really going to be fun. And I'm going to ask Linda Cook to come up here and help me. Linda didn't know I was going to ask her, okay? So give her a big hand, please. Linda is actually my real sister, my other one I don't talk with. Okay. All right. So this is okay. You're not going to have to say a word. All right. What I'm going to ask you to do is take this arm and hold it out, and I'm going to ask you to, I'm going to push down. I'm going to ask you to resist. Okay. I am not easy to resist. I realize that. But I just want you just to resist, okay? You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, look at that muscle poppy. Look at how strong she is. Okay, put your arm down. So what I'm doing here is, if I do everybody in the room, everyone's going to have a little different muscle strength because we're all unique, right? Okay, she happens to be very strong. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, and I only want a yes or no. Okay. I don't want any details. Sounds like my husband. I don't want to. Okay. Okay, so yes or no, have you ever had a really difficult situation in your life?
No.
Oh, I was starting to get worried there. I was going to have to make her sit down. Okay, now what I'm going to ask you to do, and you got to know how much I appreciate her coming up and being willing to do this in front of all of these people. I do. Okay. Okay, I'll buy you a nice... Can I go now? Nope. Oh. Okay, I'm never going to ask you to tell me anything. I just want you to go inside, and I'm going to ask you to think about that time that was difficult.
She just said she didn't have a difficult time.
No, she did. You did have a difficult time.
Well,
you're my friend, you know that. Have you ever had a time that you were worried?
Well, that's when I prayed and God helped get me out of it. But I have had some scary times.
Scary time. Okay. Look how important language is. Yeah. Okay. You've never had difficult times? Wow. Yes. You have had...
You're going to adjust to
No.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, are we going to the scary time? Okay, we're going to the scary time. You pick.
Yes.
You pick.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you to close your eyes. And I'm just going to ask you to really go back to that time and feel what you felt. And I want you to see what you saw. You can close your eyes. See the things that you saw. and see the things that you heard that felt so scary, and how you didn't know how this was going to work out. You truly didn't know. And what you were feeling. Are you back in that time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, put your arm back up.
Oh.
Okay. Wow. Wow. You thought you were going to resist, or didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, have you ever had a great time in your life? Something that made you so happy you just couldn't believe it? Yes. Okay. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to go back in that time, and I want you to see what you were seeing that made you so happy. And I want you to notice how you felt and where you felt that in your body when it feels so happy. And I want you to notice what you were hearing. What were you hearing that made you so happy? You happy? Mm-hmm. You sure? Mm-hmm. Okay, put your arm back up. Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Thank you. Give her a big hand. Because I couldn't have done it without her, right? Okay, I'm going to have you all get a partner at your table, and you're going to do that same thing. And you should have instructions, but you may not. And you don't. Okay. Okay. I'll give you the instructions. I'll give you the instructions. Okay, wait a minute, hold on, let me give you the instruction. The first thing you're going, oh, can I borrow you a ring? I'm not going to ask you any questions. I'm not going to ask you a single. I know. Okay, so notice what I'm doing. I'm putting my hand on her shoulder. I'm having her extend her arm, and I'm putting my hand on her wrist, 2 fingers, okay? So what I have here is a closed electrical circuit. Aha, it's the little things, okay. So I got a hand here, I got a hand here, and all I'm going to do is just gently push down. Now notice, I mean, you can see, I got muscles. So what you're doing here is you're getting a baseline of her strength. So, you don't have to do one of these. You just want to do this, okay? And you're getting a baseline. Then you're going to have her think about a time that was hard, difficult, sad. You get the idea. All right. And you want her to think about it. What did she hear? What did she see? What did she feel? That's all. You want to take them back to that time. They do not need to tell you anything. And you're going to do it again. Now, everybody's going to be different. Somebody's going to go down like that. Some might do it just a little bit. But you'll notice it'll be weaker. Then the third time, you're going to have them think about a time you were really happy, life was working for you, you won the jackpot, whatever. What did they see? What did they hear? What did they feel when they were just so happy? And then you're going to do it one last time. Oftentimes, they'll actually be stronger. That you do want to take them back to where they were, okay? So you want to make sure you get them back. And you're just going to check that again. Now, and then you'll trade, and the other one will do that to you, okay? So thank you very much. Get with your partner, stand up. You got to stand up to do this. Move around the room.
You want to? Place for you.
Has everybody got one?
Yeah, I stepped out with that.
Okay. Just say wonderful things, you'll be fine.
Oh, okay. close your eyes. Start thinking. He told me he didn't have any scary things. And see, I kind of said that too at first because we know how to get out of them. Oh, am I supposed to use 2 fingers?
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, you can put, yeah,
Oh.
right here.
Okay. Okay. Close your eyes and think of the scariest thing. You
Okay.
were scared.
Now, think about something really great. You can do it. Huh? Thank you. Did you both do it?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, okay.
We're having a moment.
Okay, so talk to me about a really good time when you've been really happy about something.
Oh, I guess when I went to Disney World.
Okay, when was that?
Oh, it was a long time ago.
Okay,
30 or 40 years. No, 30 years ago.
okay. And who did you go with?
My daughter and her husband and my husband.
Okay, and what kind of things did you do that you liked there?
Just to see the lights and the people and the rides and it was exciting.
Yeah, it is a fabulous place, isn't it? And everybody is happy there.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's the intent, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's test you now. Think about that going to Disney. I want you to think about the things that you saw. All the people having fun with their kids, going on rides, getting ice cream cones. Yes, and you can hear the kids having fun on the rides, hear how they squeal, and think about all the fun that you had and you had with your family. Are you back in that time? Okay. Wow.
I have a lot of upper arm strength.
You were strong. You were strong. Okay. Have you all done it?
Yes.
Okay. Have you all done it? All right. Okay. Have a seat. Did everybody get to do it? Could you believe it? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So what do you make of this? What does this tell you, May? Max. Maxie May? May Max?
I tried to
But
make it easy for you.
I see. You should try these. This is what I'm dealing with, man.
I know about it.
Part, you know good. Okay. So what do you make of this?
That I want to be around joyful experiences so I can be strong.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. What did you say? I can't hear you.
Where's the microphone?
I want to be around joyful experiences so I can be strong.
You have to listen to that. That means turn the TV off. What was the last joyful thing you saw on the 6 o'clock news? I'm very serious about that. You test yourself when the TV comes on, and you test yourself when it goes off, and you see. This was a 30-second deal, a half an hour or an hour of that stuff. If you want to find bad stuff in the world, you can find it. They do that. That is their job. They have to get eyeballs on the screen. I'm very serious about that. Okay? So, what does this tell you? What does this exercise tell you? Yeah.
It tells you that your thoughts influence you.
Please say that again.
It tells me that my negative thoughts influence me.
Thank you. Every single thought that you think is strengthening you or weakening you. You want me to say that again? Every single thought, not just a couple, every single thought weakens you or strengthens you. Now, I have an important question to ask you about that. Who is in charge of the thoughts? Who is in charge of the thoughts? And what happens is thoughts have a magnetic quality to them. So I think about, can you believe how that guy cut me off? Then it draws another. You don't have one thought. That guy made me so mad. Here I am in my lane. He cut me off. And you know what happened to me last week when I was on this road? And these drivers in Sarasota, I can tell you, blah, 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 blah. You don't have one thought. You have many, and whatever the thought is, electromagnetically, it pulls a similar matching thought. Wow. Wow. No wonder you're tired at night. It has nothing to do with what you did all day long. It has to do with whatever was going on up here. Yeah. Really? And I'm sorry, did I ask the question, who's in charge of those thoughts? Okay. And the other thing I want you to think about is when you were doing somebody's arm, and you were doing this, and they were strong, and you had them think about something, and they went down. I only use the arm because it's socially appropriate. What you saw happen in that arm happened to every muscle in their body. Every single muscle got weakened. So we are very powerful people. Thank you. We are very powerful. We don't need anybody to be mean to us. We do really good ourselves. Right? Okay. So, who wants to come up and try something with me? Oh, I'm getting just a rush of people coming up here.
I will.
Okay. Hold on. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to let you stay there. I'm going to tell you a story. How about a story? So, these are some scientists, and they wanted to know the impact that music had on them on learning. And so they had a group of mice that had no music, and they had a maze, and they had cheese at the end of the maze. And they tested how long it took them to figure out how to get through the maze to get to the cheese, and it took them X amount of time. So then they had another maze, and they had another mouse, and they played Beethoven. And all the mice that had Beethoven got to the end of the maze and got their cheese much faster than the mice who had no music. So they came up with the conclusion that Beethoven and classical music, it helps you facilitate your learning. And there was a whole movement about that in the educational systems, and then we all had to play music for the little kids. Okay, and it works. It does work. It does work. Okay, it does work. So then they had a third cage, and they played heavy metal. It's music, right? The kids love it, right? Was not really good. Was not really good. They actually, let me tell you another story about that. I'll tell you what happened. So I'm telling this story in a class, and this mother called me afterwards, and she said, my son has to do a science experiment, and this looks like it would be easy, you know, no Beethoven, get to the end of the maze, easy to do. So I told her how to do it, and she set it up. She called me and she said, you know, we had the first mice. Took them so much time to get to the end of the cage, to get to the cheese. Second mice, we played Beethoven. They got there faster. Third mice, we had heavy metal. She said they never made it to the end. Never made it to the cheese. And I said, well, what happened? Think of heavy metal. She said they got so violent that they killed each other. Oh my goodness. They killed each other. And her son never has listened to heavy metal since then. But I want to ask you, what are a whole bunch of kids listening to all day long? All day long. So, okay, so what we listen to can have a huge impact. I want to tell you another story. I was watching something, it was actually a YouTube, and it was got this farmer out in California. His family had been farmers for like 100 years, and they grow onions. And, you know, they got tons and tons of acreage and all these onions, and he grows perfect little onions. And he was talking about how he can't survive as a farmer anymore. He cannot survive for all kinds of reasons. They got droughts, and they got plagues, and they got everything out there. Okay. But the main thing that is costing him so much is he usually used to use 3 to 4 chemicals, you know, to fertilize and everything. He's using 30 to 40 chemicals on his onions. I want you to think about that. I could muscle test you right now and you could do this. Just telling you that. I want you to think about, that's one onion. What about everything else that was on your plate? What has happened is every aspect of society, whether we're talking noise level, or we're talking about our food, we're talking about our traffic, whatever, has so rapidly changed that our bodies haven't had enough time to acclimate. And so literally our environment is making us weak. So what we listen to, what we think about, what we eat, what we watch on television, what we say to our friends is going to weaken us or strengthen us. So thoughts are important, and you really want to think about, we're very lazy about whatever goes through. It's important to be good stewards about the thoughts that we're thinking. Any questions about that? Okay, this concept that we just did is called behavioral kinesiology. At the end of the program, I'm going to give you a bibliography. You can imagine I tend to read a lot of books. Most of them, unfortunately, are now on my computer, but this is so old. This is before we had Kindle, and it's called Your Body Doesn't Lie, and it tells you how to do what we just did. So if it's something that you're interested in fact, there's a couple of things. This is like just looking at this will strengthen you. So you're sitting there, you're bored, just draw a little line. This picture compared to this picture will weaken you or strengthen you. Real easy things you can do. Okay? So as you go through your day, on the way home, I want you to notice, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about the great time you had today and all the fabulous things you learned and how the church is so great because they provided this for you? Are you thinking about the awful traffic? It is a choice. It's a choice. Did you have a question? No. Okay. All right. So, applied kinesiology. All right. We discussed critical factors for success today. We talked about the number of dendrites. We talked about the length of the dendrites. We talked about the flexibility of those dendrites. And we discussed how every thought that we think changes our chemistry. Now what I want to do, I talked about giving you an experience. So if you would turn to your papers that say dreams and goals. Dreams and goals. What I'd like you to do is in the center of your page, draw a little circle or a big circle. Draw a circle in the center. And I want you to put a picture of yourself in there. Whatever that is, a smiley face, a stick figure, something that represents you. Yeah, we have colored pens. Use colored pens. And then what I want you to do is I want you to draw 3 lines. Wherever you want on your page. Make them connect to that center of you, however you want to do that. And I want you to think on the outside. Put the lines on the outside. That's all right, darling. Okay. Your lines go on the outside of the circle.
The line, where's the person?
Just put you. Put your name in there. Put your name right there. You're okay. You got it. Okay. Now, on those 3 lines, I'd like you to write down 3 things, 3 goals, 3 dreams that you have for your life. You'd like more money. You like more friends. Dreams, 3 dreams, 3 goals. 1 on each line, thank you. So 3 things you'd like to have, dreams in your life. Better relationships with your friends, whatever. Win the lotto. More peace. Okay, and then on each of those lines, so I'm going to say more money here, that's easy. So on this particular goal, it's going to be more money. Then write down what having more money would do for you. I could relax. Okay, I could feel secure. I could buy birthday gifts for the grandkids. I could leave in the summertime when it's hot. Whatever. So whatever the item for each line, for each line, write one thing and then add what having that would do for you. Okay, so you should have in your packet a sheet that looks like this. And it says Session 1 questions. Okay. Down at the bottom of the page on the left-hand side, down at the very bottom, I just want you to draw a little line. I just want to mark that line down there. Just draw a little line for yourself. Just right here. Left-hand side. Okay, Bruce, I'm going to ask you to, on your watch, give me 30 seconds. I'll tell you when to start and when to stop. Okay, so I want you all to find your pulse. I got to make sure you're still live on me, all right? So you got your wrist, you got your neck. Find your pulse. Is everybody alive? Yeah, yeah, okay.
So you said a little line, right?
Just a, yeah, just a whatever.
Okay.
Just draw a line. Okay. Okay, everybody, is everybody alive? You got your pulse, you know where your pulse is. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you count for 30 seconds, and then you get that number, and I'm going to have you stop. Okay, so I'm not going to make you go. So Bruce, you're going to tell them when to start counting and when to stop at the end of 30 seconds. Okay, everyone know what we're going to do? Okay.
Start. Stop.
Okay, thank you. Take that number, multiply it by 2, and put it on that little line in the bottom left-hand side. Okay, I'm going to let you take a little trip. Everybody ready to go on a trip? Okay. So just sit back and relax. Okay. And what I want you to do is I want you to choose one of those 3 items that you wrote on your mind map. So pick one, and pick one that you think you would like to work with every week. So pick your kind of favorite one, or the one that seems most doable, or gets you the most, or whatever. Pick one, and we're going to work with it. Okay, so everybody knows what you're going to work with? All right. So all you have to do for the next few minutes is sit back and relax. All right? So just sit back and relax. And I'm going to read you a little story. And you just use this. I'm going to take you on a little journey, and I want you to take this goal that you have and use that for the journey that we're going to go on. All right? Anybody have any questions? Okay, sit back. Oh, I got to play my music. And just relax the muscles around your eyes. And begin to notice how your body begins to soften. And your breathing begins to slow down. And your shoulders begin to relax. And that relaxation begins to move down your arms and around your elbow and down into your wrist and down into your hands, and slowly breathe. And as you exhale, you become aware of how your neck is now beginning to relax, so that that relaxation is able to move up your neck and around your ears and around your head, so that all of your scalp relaxes. And as your neck relaxes and your ears relax and your head relaxes, you begin to feel that relaxation move down across your forehead. And as it moves around your eyes, relaxing all of those small muscles around your eyes, and down your nose and across your cheeks, relaxing all the muscles around your mouth and your tongue and across your jaw and down your throat. And now that every muscle in your head and face and neck and throat and shoulders and arms all continue to deepen in their relaxation. You find that it becomes even easier for that relaxation to melt down into all the muscles in your back and your chest and down into your abdomen, sliding even easier into your hips and down into your legs and through your knees and your calves, relaxing your ankles and your feet and your toes. And as you become aware of how the back of your chair is supporting you, you're able to relax your whole body even deeper. And now, as you continue relaxing even deeper and deeper, allow your higher self to begin to rise up out of your body, ever so gently, floating up above your body, floating up to the ceiling of the room. And as you look down at yourself, sitting in the chair, you can see how safe you are sitting there. And now you can move ever so gently up through the roof of the building and up on top of the trees. As you continue to look up and look up onto the sky, you're able to float even higher and higher. And as you continue floating, you are aware of how easy it is to float upwards. And you feel so light and free. And now, begin to think about the item that you selected that you would like to have in your life. Whether that was more money, more friends, more fun, or whatever, you can begin to see yourself way down there, way below on the earth, and you are beginning to implement or to have or to experience those things that you would like to draw into your life. So now, see yourself actually doing that goal that you chose. What do you see yourself doing if you have that goal? And what feelings are you experiencing as you do those things? Are you feeling happiness, security, joy, peace? And where in your body are you feeling those feelings? And as you feel those feelings of love, of joy, of peace, of deep contentment, or whatever it is that you are feeling, notice how you hold your body when you feel those feelings. What is the expression on your face as you experience those feelings? And as you feel those feelings, how are you holding your shoulders? And where in your body do you feel that sense of calm, that sense of relaxation, that sense of wholeness, having what it is that you want? And when you feel whole, what do you now know about yourself by feeling whole. And what do you now know about your world where you can feel whole? And now, taking all that sense of peace and calm and contentment with you, begin to move up even higher, even further away, and continue to float higher and higher until the scene below you is unfolding exactly the way you would like it. You can see yourself doing exactly what you need to do in order to have this come into your life. You can see yourself receiving the bounty of this goal for you in a way that is effortless in every way. And you can see yourself moving through your day in a way that honors you, in a way that honors your environment, and in a way that honors those who you are interacting with. And you become aware of the beliefs that you now have, the beliefs that enable you to create these results for yourself and for those who you care about. And it is easy for you to see the actions that you take because of these beliefs. And you can see how effortless it is for you to take these actions now and each day going forward. But by taking these actions that will get you that satisfaction, that joy, that peace, that you are able to do this with ease. And from this higher altitude, you are able to see not only how your beliefs are shaping your actions and how your actions are producing these very satisfying results. You are able to see how your very existence is adding to those around you, and how modeling your beliefs and modeling your actions are impacting and lifting others up. Lifting others in such a positive way enables them to also be better people, because of knowing you. And you can see how that ripple effect that you have on your immediate world is now spreading out to others beyond you. And now that you have been able to see some of the steps that you can take to begin to achieve the things that you desire in your life, and how those steps can easily enrich your life and that of others, and how it feels to take those steps and to achieve those actions that are dear and important to you, and how your actions can enrich your life and the life of others. So now you can gather all that you have learned and all that you have experienced and all that you now know. You can gather all of that now into your mind and your heart for you to tap into whenever you wish. But for now, slowly begin to come back to earth, back into this room, back into your body. And when you are ready, begin to find your pulse. Come back into the room and find your pulse. And when you are ready, begin counting.
Start now. And stop.
And take that number, multiply it by 2, and put it on the right-hand side, the right-hand bottom side of your paper. And when you're ready, then answer the questions on your sheet. Okay. How are you feeling? Relaxed. How many of you noticed the difference between your pulse before and after? A lot? Would you share?
Yeah, it was like 120 at the beginning.
Okay, her pulse was 120 at the beginning.
The
Wait a minute, we would all love to have a pulse of 120 at the beginning.
It was doubled. I mean, I doubled it.
And you,
And then
yeah.
it was 40 doubled to
Oh, so you went from 120 to 80?
to 40.
Well, but if we double it,
No, it was 20.
it was 20. I'm sorry, do that again. Whoa, I'm going on, we are going on record for this. Your pulse in the first time was?
It was 60 and I doubled it.
So it was 120.
Okay. And it was, well, I think it was like 40. No, I guess it was 40 and I doubled it. Okay.
40, and you doubled it, so it would be 80. Wow. That was a 5-minute guided meditation. The power of your brain. In the very beginning, we talked about every thought has a power to it. You can just sit in a chair. Get in your recliner, Bob. Get in the recliner and look what you can do to your body. Either way. Either way. Are you not either way. Are you not powerful? Okay. So, when we did the kinesiology, we did this thing, you saw how your brain and body cannot tell the difference between something real and something vividly imagined. I want you all to notice, none of you actually were experiencing whatever you were thinking about. Linda, when you were up here, the thing that you were thinking about, how long ago did that happen?
I was up there with you.
Yeah.
30 minutes ago.
No. The actual event.
Oh, the event itself. 4 minutes, maybe?
No. When did the event occur in your life? The actual.
20 years ago.
Your body can't tell the difference between something actually experienced and vividly remembered. I want you to think about that.
Will you say that again?
Your body cannot tell the difference between something you actually experience and something you vividly recall. Okay? So it doesn't matter that it happened 50 years ago. You're still angry about it. It is having the same effect today. That thought is having the same effect today as it did 50 years ago. And I suspect you haven't just thought about it once or twice. It's still with you. Okay? So, we just did a little exercise for you to think about it differently. So take just a moment and share anything that you would like with the people at your table about what you experienced in that visualization, whatever you feel like sharing. Good.
Very good.
Good.
Yes.
Now we have to come back to reality.
Not necessarily.
Well, at least it's more dendrites.
That's right. Okay, if I could have your attention, please. Okay, I think most of you are probably familiar. This is a great quote. Love the Lord our God with all of your heart. Love the Lord your God with all of your heart, your mind, your soul, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. The last word is yourself. So I want you to think about what we've talked about today. As you love yourself, you change your body. As you change your body, you change your chemistry, which then not only heals you, but heals others. Okay? Now, you can repeat this as often as you like. Today is on YouTube. So if you want to listen to that meditation that we did, because it took your heartbeat down, you can download it and listen to this all week, as many times as you want. Isn't that a wonderful gift they're giving you?
Website. Just go to our website.
Yeah, go to the website. Do that stuff that people do. Okay. Okay. In conclusion, what I'd like you to do is please write down 3 things you were grateful for today. Write them down wherever you want. Today, this morning, from the time you got up. From the time you got, so one thing I'm grateful for is I'm upright. Okay, I was able to get here with little traffic. The church provided this for me. 3 things you're grateful for. And by writing those, you've just strengthened yourself. So gratitude is really a wonderful thing that you do for yourself and you do for others. Share one thing you're grateful for with the people at your table. Okay. Okay, if I could have your attention for just one more minute. We talked about, this morning, we talked about critical factors for success. Your dendrites. You can make them longer, you can make them stronger, and you can make them more supple. All right, so you have the choice between what you think about, what you eat, what you do, the environmental things in your environment all impact that. We actually exercised your brain today. All those little dendrites are just looking really good right now. And every time you come back, we're going to strengthen them and grow them even more, okay? We also talked about your body doesn't lie. You now have a tool that you can use to see if something strengthens you or weakens you. So, do I want to take this food right now? Do I want to take a nap? Whatever. You can test. Now, if you read I don't have time to go into it, but you can't do this, right? So you can do this. You can just do this. If it strengthens you, you're like this. If it weakens you, this breaks. Closed circuit. Okay. So you can be very discreet about that chocolate cake. Okay. And I'm going to eat it anyway. Okay. Okay. Then, so your body is always telling you what's best for your body. And the last thing we talked about is an exercise where you created your future. Your body can't tell the difference between something actually experienced and vividly imagined. Okay, very good. Thank you. It has been a delight to meet you all. Next week, 10 o'clock. All right, we'll do even more experiences and have a great week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.